Hello everyone and welcome back to Against the Storm. I will explain more about the game concepts. So we were building woodcutters and I was explaining about the marking of the trees, which is this here, F or G to remove markings. So I will hit F, and what I will do is hit Control, and then I can mark trees without marking the trees that will open a new glade. I will what I'm doing is preparing this to be opened as fast as possible at some point in the future, but not yet. And here I will make some room. Yeah, I will mark these to make more room. What I like to do is prioritize the woodcutters camps. You can press Shift to do it for all the woodcutters camps. I'm prioritizing because now I'm gonna put down some shelters. For the shelters, it doesn't really matter how they are oriented. We have 12 people actually, so each shelter can house 3 residents, so that's enough for all of us. Then I will build 4 benches. Build them here for now, and it's to achieve this. Decorations for comfort decorations have to be built together with 8 people housed minimum in range of this heart, and it will upgrade the hub. It will give us +2 resolve bonus. Now I will unpause the game and I will start building these things. I will set it to slow for now, but I will increase the speed later. While they are doing all that, I will look at the other modifiers. So from Hostility 2, if we earn reputation points during the storm, they will not lower Queen's Impatience. That's okay, we just try not to earn them during the storm. Rotting wood. Woodcutters cut down trees 50% faster but have a 100% chance of destroying their yield. From Hostility 2, that is pretty bad. That means we shouldn't employ woodcutters during the storm, which strongly suggests that at some point in the near future a 3rd woodcutters camp wouldn't be a bad choice, because we will be missing out on 2 minutes of wood gathering during the storm. But we are not at Hostility 2 yet, so... Leakage. The cover of the Ancient Heart has been damaged due to an exceptionally strong storm. The heart's resistance has decreased by 200. I will explain more about that later. That has to do with Blight Rot generation. Then from Hostility 7, the forest will claim a villager's life during each storm, multiplied by the amount of years that have passed. That is bad. That is extremely bad. So we definitely don't want Hostility to get to 7 during the storm in this run. So the woodcutters camps have been completed. So now what you have to do is actually assign your villagers to this. You can do this in various ways. You can open the camp itself and then you see these slots here. You can click them and put a beaver in here, but what you can also do on the map is press Alt, and then you have the camps. You can right click to unassign someone. You can use the mouse wheel to scroll through the species, and I will put a beaver in here. And as you can see, this red bar is going up, the hostility, because I'm employing a woodcutter. Another one. See, that's quite a bit. And now hostility has risen to 1. And as you can see, the resolve will go down from 11 to 9. And that's the thing I explained with the resilience. For the lizards, that will happen slower than for the other species. Anyway, I will put 2 beavers in here, and we don't have any more beavers, so I will put a harpy in here. So as I said before, beavers have a plus 10% chance of doubling their yield. That is this, the specialization bonus wood. You can see that here, and then when you hover over the different species, you will see beavers are hardworking, honest, quite demanding. They are gifted woodworkers and enjoy engineering. So each species will have one specialty, like woodworking, that will help them increase the chance of getting double production by 10%, and one resolve based specialty, that's engineering in this case. If we put a beaver in a building that has engineering, this particular beaver will get plus 5 to resolve. That doesn't mean that this number will increase by 5. This number is an average of all the resolves of every individual beaver. So if you have 2 beavers and one has 10 resolve and the other has 2 resolve, then your average is 6 resolve, is what this number will be. So yeah. Then actually we have the Ancient Heart. One more thing I need to say about that is that you always have one villager employed there, and they will give a bonus based on the species. Harpies increase the global carrying capacity by 5. This is actually massive, because this means that for example, these woodcutters, they go to the trees, they chop them down, and they can actually they carry the wood to the woodcutters camp, and they can carry more before they have to go to the camp. And then when they have to bring it to the warehouse, they can also carry more. So that results in getting things done a lot faster. If I would put a lizard in here, it will give a plus 1 to global resolve. If I would put a beaver in here, then fuels are used more efficiently. If I would put a human in here, then Queen's Impatience goes up slower. So yeah, that's that. Let's unpause. There is another thing I need to say, is the blueprint choices. You will start with 3 of them. It's basically this. You don't have, most buildings you don't have unlocked in the beginning. You have to unlock them by getting them through the blueprint rolls. You can reroll. Amber is basically your money. You can reroll for free 1 time now, and later it will start increasing amounts of amber. So these are various production buildings we can see here. I will not make a choice yet. I don't open this until year 2, because in year 1 you are not even setting up these buildings yet, because they require planks and stuff to produce, and you don't really have to think about these year 1 really. Why delay it, you say? Because there are various circumstances that can arise that would influence your choice here. I'm probably going to take the workshop, probably, but what if I open a dangerous glade and you can actually find ruins there? Ruins are buildings from a time before the last Blightstorm that have somehow not been completely destroyed. You can recover these buildings. What if I find the ruins of a workshop? Then it would be quite silly that I picked a workshop already. Would be a waste. This is the most basic form of why I would say you would wait, but there are various other reasons. You might get some orders from the Queen soon. You will get some orders from the Queen soon, and they might ask you to get a certain building. You might get any type of synergy, any type of idea somehow to go in a certain direction, and maybe one of these buildings synergizes with that idea. So there is literally no point in picking these right now because you're not going to be able to build them yet, and yeah, you're busy with other things year one. So I will leave them. I will increase the time to ×3, and now we get our first cornerstone choice. This is a perk. So Golden Marrow. Some fossils contain valuable surprises. Gain 2 amber for every 20 sea marrow produced. I will explain more about caches later, but these are basically caches you can find in dangerous and forbidden glades, and sometimes the normal glades, and you can work on them to get resources from them or reputation. Wealthy settlements attract wealthy settlers. Newcomers bring 40% more goods with them for each hub level gained. Local taxes. Villagers are willing to give you their very last piece of amber just for a pint of decent ale. Gain 20 amber for every 100 ale produced. So as I said, amber is basically your currency. I feel like none of them is really amazing at this point in the game, because we don't know if we are going to be producing ale. I would love to, because I also picked a farm to start out with. And farms produce grain, and grain can be turned into ale, but we don't have any of those buildings yet that can do that. We would need to produce ale. We already have the farm for grain. Then we need a brewery or any type of building that can produce ale, a scribe as well. There are some others. And then we need a service building that can offer the ale to the people, which is like a tavern. But now that I think about it, ale is actually only used to satisfy the beavers, so it shouldn't be our main goal. What you should do is actually see where the synergies are when it comes to services. So we got education synergy between the beavers and the harpies, and we got brawling synergy between the lizards and the harpies. So if we can work towards providing those services, that would be better than working towards providing leisure with ale. But yeah, I'm going to reroll. Trade routes are worth 1 more amber. Scales with quantity of goods exported. That is pretty good. Gain 1 lizard for every 25 eggs produced. I wouldn't recommend anything like this. Why? Because you will come at a point where you really want to control how many villagers you get. You will come at a point where you will say, okay, I have enough of them for now. I do not take on any new ones. And this makes it a little harder to control, because you will probably want to keep producing eggs if you get them. Bed and breakfast. This time it's the guild who's going to pay you, not the other way around. Gain 10 amber every time a new trader arrives. I will explain more about traders soon. You villagers learn how to travel the wilderness from the very best. The Royal Stormwalkers. All trade routes are faster by 40%. I will be using trade routes. They are worth more amber. Scales with the quantity of goods exported. Yeah, I will pick that. This does not benefit us immediately, but I'm not gonna keep re-rolling. Well, I can't keep re-rolling, but I'm not gonna use my other re-roll. Doesn't apply to routes in progress. So the more you sell, the more they will be worth. Okay. My next plan is to put a trading post down. We got some orders from the Queen. I'm not going to look at them yet. That's for year 2. Why? Because I might get a timed order. You don't unlock them at the beginning. But a timed order is basically an instruction to do something within a limited amount of time. They are risky. You have to do some efficient stuff to get there, usually. And then they give you a very valuable reward. I don't want a timed order right now. I will open them in year 2. So let's just do this. Alright. Okay, now the settlement is upgraded. Now you can see here, +2 to global resolve. Ancient Heart's resistance to corruption is increased. Nice. The next level requires 2 more villagers, 4 more comfort decorations, and 4 aesthetic decorations. Now aesthetics are a step further. They require planks here. We actually have planks. So we could do that year 1, already prepare for when we get 2 more. But first I need to get a trading post down. Normally I would say build it outside of the range of the heart because it's taking up space, but honestly it's good to build a second heart anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. What I would recommend is that you keep some space around the warehouse for production buildings, because then they need to get their resources in the warehouse, process them, and bring the processed goods to the warehouse. So it makes sense to build this close to the warehouse to increase efficiency. So I will not build the trading post near the warehouse. Normally I would do something like opening a small glade and build the warehouse, the trading post there. But yeah, I think this is fine now. Alright. So now we got a trading post. Every certain amount of minutes, a trader will come here. There are different types of traders. Most of them you have to unlock through the meta progression. They offer different kinds of goods. And yeah, trade, it's really good in this game. You can buy things you're missing in your settlement. Traders also offer blueprints of buildings or perks that you can buy. If you ever need a trader earlier, you can call them immediately at the cost of half of a point of Queen's Impatience. The next time you do it, it's 1 point. This is useful. This is useful. I have, for a long time, I didn't use this, but it can be very useful. But a situation like that would have to arise before I can really demonstrate how useful it is. Because I can't really explain about this now. So we got the trading post built, which also means I can open this. This is the trade routes screen. Basically here you can see what kind of goods are in demand in other settlements and in the smoldering city and sell them. So these are the goods that they demand, and you need to send a caravan there. A caravan needs packs of provisions which we cannot produce yet. Once we do, we can start sending trade routes out and they will reward us with amber. The level of the settlement, the relation with the settlement will increase, which will basically give you better deals. A level 3 settlement will give you better deals than a level 1 settlement. And you can buy some more slots that show more goods that they would like to have. That's not for now yet, but it's important to note because we picked up a bonus. Where is it? Trade routes are worth 1 more amber, and it will scale along with the quantity of goods exported. So the more we sell, the more we will gain, which is nice. So this is something to put our focus towards. So yeah, we built the essentials. What I want to do is make an exception here. Because the workshop well, first of all, let's get our resource gathering going, and then I will show you why I want to make an exception in picking a blueprint year 1. So, we got roots and we got clay. We have 5 free villagers, 1 lizard and 4 harpies that are basically doing nothing right now. You can build some roads. They increase movement speed by 5%. I will build a stone cutter here in range of the stone. Also with the arrow of the building oriented towards the stone. I will build a small forager's camp oriented towards the roots. And what I would normally do is build a crude workstation. This is the base production building you have for building materials. As you can see, that red sign after planks, fabric and bricks between the parentheses, that indicates that it will produce resources at a very inefficient rate. Do we have any? For example, here in the small foragers camp, you can see grain and 1 star. In the stonecutters camp, you can see stone and 2 stars. So you have 1, 2, or 3 stars, which means basically they use 3 stars uses less in a production building, uses less input resources to produce the same amount of goods. In a gathering camp, it just means the speed, I think, at which they gather, and how much stone they actually get from it, probably. But the crude workstation is... I would normally want to get my production of planks, fabric, bricks going already, especially planks in the beginning, and I would build the crude workstation. But what we have here is the workshop, where the crude workstation produces planks, fabric, and bricks with no stars, very inefficiently. The workshop can produce all of these with 2 stars, which is more efficient. So I will get this because we already have planks and bricks and fabric, 7 of each, and we only need 4 of each to produce the workshop. So let's get it. Yeah, and with this I will wait. So now we have this workshop here. I will build it right next to the warehouse. And as you can see, here are the ratios. 5 wood required to produce 2 planks. If we would plop down the crude workstation, I will destroy it in a moment, you will see that we need 8 wood for 2 planks. We need 6 plant fiber for 2 fabric here, and here we need only 3. We need 3 clay for 2 bricks here, and in the crude workstation we would need 6 clay for 2 bricks. So that's a lot of efficiency gained with the workshop. So as we have the resources, might as well build it now and put someone in there. Now you can do a lot here. Most of the production buildings produce multiple types of goods. You could turn them on and off if you want the building to specialize in certain things. You can set a storage limit, which is a global limit, not for the building itself. So yeah, I do like to have something like that of planks. 16, 16. The other thing you can do with, for example, fabric is open this up and choose which resources are allowed to use fabric. You can make fabric. You can turn them on and off. Maybe you will have that plant fiber reserved for something else, and maybe you're also generating reed. Then you would do this, turn on the reed, and reserve the plant fiber for your other production process. But it will be plant fiber here. We don't have a node for plant fiber, so that's something we are looking out for. And then bricks will be clay or stone. We have a clay deposit here. So yeah, that is completely fine. So we got our camp set up. The other thing, the gathering camps like woodcutters and stonecutter, they can be moved And if you zoom in on them, you can kind of see that they are mobile. They have wheels. They're kind of like a cart. So once you're done woodcutting here, I could do, for example, this and put the camp somewhere else. Once a clay node is depleted, you can move this camp to another clay node if you have one. So what I'm doing is putting someone in here, putting someone in here. You have 3 more villagers. So I could actually gather more food. Yeah, this says specialization farming. That's for humans, which we won't have in this settlement. You will always have a maximum of 3 different species. I will wait for this to be completed. And normally I would say you keep 1 free worker for building. But honestly, we have nothing to build right now. So I will put everyone, the last 2 free workers, in the workshop to start producing planks and such. And now we wait. Gather resources, and we're waiting for the storm to come. I want it to be year 2. Yeah, this woodcutter has no more trees here that are marked. Can I squeeze him in between here? Yes, I can. Which is great. Make some room. Make some room here too. Yeah, actually I'll orient this camp towards this. I want more room around the warehouse. So you can see everyone gathering. Buildings working. Yeah, that sound tells us that the storm is coming in 30 seconds. We are at hostility 1, so these effects active from 2 do not trigger yet. We only got this. Yeah. So as you can see, they all take a massive resolve hit. -7. You can actually see here the combined positive and negative effects. So positive, you can see they get +2 from encampment. That's strange. They're getting... Housing is not calculated in this one? Okay. Well, and here's the combined negative effects. So hostility of the forest. Yeah, they're... Looming darkness gives us -4 global resolve for each hostility level. Apparently hostility 0 also counts as a level, so we get -8, and then we get a -2 standard for each hostility level. So they are going to drop to 0. What we can do to counter that is unassign some woodcutters, but we don't have to yet. I would really suggest that you straddle what you need to do, and I want to show the mechanic of when they hit 0. See, now you get this red bar. If this red bar hits this point here, then a harpy will leave. Queen's Impatience will go up by 33% off a full chunk. And as you can see, the lizards, because they're more resilient, they take longer to get to 0. But you can kind of milk this, and especially at higher difficulties, that's worth it. But here as well. So now I will take this harpy out. You can see the red bar going down. Take this one out. Take this one out. Now hostility drops and they will start going up again. Now the storm will be over. I will pause again because a lot of things will happen now. We'll put the woodcutters back. See if we get a beaver from the... After the storm, you get the choice of a new perk. Usually newcomers, but it's not 100% dependent anymore on the storm being completed. So let's get a perk first. Without really thinking about it, I can safely say that we can use this one. Gain 1 reputation point every time you will sell goods worth 60 amber, while slowing the reputation gain from resolve by 50%. That's a kind of shitty negative, because it means that service buildings and meat, resolve from meat and stuff, that everything that pushes their resolve above the blue bar, you can still use it, but the reputation per minute they gain from being above the blue bar will be 50% less. But we get a reputation point every time we sell goods worth 60 amber. And this is a nice, really nice synergy with this trade routes being worth 1 amber more. So I will grab that. Then newcomers. So you get a choice out of these two lizards, beaver, a harpy, or 2 lizards and 2 lizards. They will also bring some resources with them. Pipes and clay versus berries. I want a beaver. Can immediately put him to work. So now we need more housing. Let me just check. I'm going to move the benches. I don't know where I will put them eventually, probably in like tight spaces where I cannot build anything else. And I'll start building some houses here. Should I go for specialized housing immediately? Because we do have production set up. We got yeah, so the first ones to take care of with specialized housing would be lizards and harpies. Harpy houses require fabric, which we don't have a lot of. Lizard houses also require a little bit of fabric. We only have 3 lizards. I could build 1 lizard house. And I could build 1 sorry harpies, but we don't have a source of fabric. Yeah, I will build some specialized houses. The other thing that happened is one of the traders arrived. So let's open that screen.
Hi.
Here are some goods they offer that you can buy. Here are some blueprints and perks you can buy for Amber. So we got the Forager's Camp, Trapper's Camp, Herbalist Camp. That's nice, and +2 to fabric production. So every time fabric is produced, if we would have this perk, it would be 2 more.
Lydia.
So for example, in the workshop, every time a production cycle is completed, here it will be 2 fabric. If we add that perk, this would produce 4 fabric.
Yana.
She does not, she has reed, which is nice because we can use that as fabric. But what I'm actually going to do is open up a dangerous glade and see what resources we have there. Cancel this for a moment. Make sure that this happens fast before the trader leaves. And we can make a more informed decision. Okay. So I think this is a good time to end the episode because I have a lot to explain now. And I will do that in the next episode. So thank you for watching and see you next time.